Hold up. Sorry, just want to make sure I'm properly hydrated for what's probably going to be just a marathon for the next God knows how long about Tom Brady's future. You're not caught off guard by this. You knew it's coming. It's pretty much the question, like it is at the end of every season. Fair to say, coming into this Week 2 matchup, we've really yet to see that #1 pick type performance out of Trevor Lawrence. I understand a lot of you are sitting there going, hey, his rookie year, he was playing for Urban Meyer. Decisions that get made on Selection Sunday, which is a long time away, are predetermined by what you do from November to March. If those fates were decided today, and they're not, UCF would be among the first 4 teams out. You have time, you have opportunities. What we had tonight was probably the greatest game Addition Financial Arena has ever seen. No, don't do it. We're not going to play this whole moral victories game, okay? Not with this coach, not with this team, not when you went out on this field and lost to your rivals by 3 touchdowns. Still could have been a lot worse, like way more devastating than what we saw last year, okay? So at least for a quarter, you made the defending national champs a little hot under the collar and gave your fan base just a little bit of hope. See, this was the reason so many of us were against the tank in the first place, and really why there was so much optimism about this squad potentially being in the play-in. Not gonna sit here and say we gotta do a complete 180 on our vibe check. There's still work to do. They are 12 games under 500, let's get that straight. Winning 3 in a row in the grand scheme of 82 is something small. For this team, at this time, it's something significant. It's the preseason. I feel like we need to say that before we discuss anything further. It's the preseason, it's the preseason. And hey, Josh, if you weren't sure about this, it's the preseason. Why don't you go ahead and get comfortable, because what we're about to do is going to take a while. So, UCF, you need this win for 2 reasons. One of those is fairly simple. The other, well, it's not. Actually, one of the cool things about this day is local reporters like myself get to come out here and play 18 at Lake Nona. Let's not worry about that. Guys, just block out the noise, do your job, and if you do that, you're going to get the win. That's probably the way you should approach it. Go Cam 7 if you could, Cortarius. Thank you, but it also never hurts to look at the big picture. Look, that's basically Jamal Mosley telling you what he thinks without saying it, because you know he'd go get fined. You got nothing else to lose, okay? You know what? I'm going to say it. I'm not going to censor myself either. It was a foul. There's 2 Jonathan Isaacs. There's the one before January 1st, 2020, and then the one afterwards. From that day forward, how would you describe what your life has been?
It's been a lot of rehab.
When we sit down again a year from now and talk about 2024, but look back on this past season, what are we going to say about this club? When it comes to this all-star buzz that this guy has been creating for quite some time now, Mike, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Will he get that nod? Matt, that was one of the rare measuring stick opportunities for this team based on what the schedule was going to provide for them. And you come away just feeling like it's a gut punch. How big of an impact do you think this has on the entire season? Paolo said afterwards on the Bally Sports broadcast that his New Year's resolution was to make the play-in. When he spoke to the media at the post-game press conference, he said, let me correct myself. It's not a resolution, it's a goal. But if we keep doing what we're doing, I think it's very much in reach. At the Amway Center, Luke Hetrick, Spectrum Sports 360.
I'm going to read this to you real quick. He wanted each of you to be great men, be great fathers, be great in your gifts and talents, and be great for your fellow man.
You could be better than me, you could be more privileged than me, you know, have better aesthetics than me, but no one's gonna work harder than me.
Because everything I've been through just allowed me to stop looking at the bigger picture and focus on all the little things.
Trent Stewart and Dougie Gray are chasing greatness. They're also searching for peace.
Being able to go outside and go on a run, clear my mind, it just feels free, makes me feel better.
When he was just 2 months old, Dougie lost both of his parents in a 2-week span.
Poverty.
Trent's life has had its fair share of tribulations as well.
Absence of family members. That really keeps me going too, just making sure I don't have to go back to that when I get older and providing a better life for my family.
2 college athletes bonded by hardship, sports, and a best friend, Curtis Gray.
Truthfully, Curtis was a positive-minded person. He was never the kid to go out to practice and complain about what he had to do. He was a very self-motivated person, and he always motivated the people around him as well.
Kurt was always there to talk to me about what was going on in my life. He talked about what was going on in his life.
I think y'all cool. All right, there you go.
Behind that big, bright smile, Curtis hid his own pain. Injuries, a battle with depression, and his parents' divorce rocked him all at once.
When Curtis walked in the room, like the whole entire room would just light up. And there was a period of about 3 months where he just wasn't smiling anymore. I asked him to find other young men who were going through similar issues. I told him, I said, the way to heal is to try to bring healing to somebody else.
Yeah, Trent, because we here all day long. Yeah, dog, we here all day long.
Through Ma Carmen's request, Curtis created a peer support group, the Blooders, short for Blood Brothers. Dougie and Trent were instant members.
He loved those guys. Those guys loved him.
Just him being there when no one else was is what made me shift my mindset and become the person I am.
I watched him literally pull himself up by the bootstraps, and it was exponential leaps and bounds. It was like he made a decision.
We all working here. Let them know, Brett.
He did. Curtis and Trent transferred from Matanzas High to Flagler Palm Coast for their senior year. Curtis continued his dominance in track and field.
Dig, get your knees up, knees up, knees up. There you go.
At FPC, he became a triple jumper. He loved that. He found out he was actually naturally good at it.
We always used to joke around with her that we would go to the Olympics in 2024.
He found us happy, and he pulled everyone into that space. I got the phone call that night from Curtis. He says, "Hey, Mom, I'm just checking in." I said, "Okay." I said, "Where are you?" He told me where he was. I looked at the time. I said, "Okay, you guys wrap it up. It's 11:09. Go ahead and go home."
So Curtis and his friend headed back to his house. They stopped by the Blaze and Flame smoke shop to pick up another friend who was in need. Curtis never made it back.
Things happened so fast. The young people's lives who were there will be forever changed. I'm left without a son.
Curtis Gray was shot and killed. He was 18 years old.
As soon as I heard it, heart dropped. I started bawling my eyes out. It was probably, I felt the weakest I ever felt in my life. I just felt broken.
I remember it like it was yesterday, obviously, because it was the night I lost my best friend, but it was just fast, like everything was a blur.
Marion Gavins Jr. was charged with first-degree murder with a firearm. He's pleaded not guilty and is awaiting trial.
The pain is unbelievable. It's inescapable. But I choose to honor my son. He made me promise him.
And a promise kept by his two brothers.
It says, "Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." And this is actually, just the scripture is the first tattoo Curtis ever got on his arm.
When you look at that, what do you think?
Keep going. That's it. Keep going. Today's going to be a great day.
Dougie continues his push for Paris 2024.
I take a breath from Kurt. I remember all the breaths Kurt would be taking right now, and that he wouldn't stop. And if he was right next to me, he'd be yelling at me for stopping.
Trent honors the past with his future.
Kiss my fingers, touch him, touch my daughter, because those are the two things that keeps me going every day. Him first, he left, and she came, so it's my two biggest blessings in my life.
Maximize all of your opportunities and don't be afraid to dream.
Trent and Dougie have found their peace. Carmen is still searching for hers.
Each of you have spent time in my home. I have watched you all blossom into the young men you are.
She's lost a son, but she's gained two more.
Continue to thrive and know that I love you as my sons, Ma Carmen.
Let me ask you a question real quick. How would you describe Jared Stansel's golf swing? Poetic? Aggressive, but yeah, poetic. His catchphrase,
Bada bang, bada boom.
oh my gosh, outstanding. Most of all, his attitude is pure perfection.
I always go out there and try my best, and that was what matters. I mean, my goal is to work on my golf game and go to the PGA Tour. And if I hit a bad shot, they pick me up.
Dream big with the determination to match.
When you hear that sound, what do you think?
100% awesome. That's the kind of hit we need.
For a teenage kid, this is absolute heaven.
Oh, that was a good one, Jared. That was right at the pin.
For a parent of a child who has an exceptionality, this is everything.
I feel so blessed that he has such, like, a God-given talent. But it's one thing to have a talent, it's another thing to have passion. And he has such passion for this.
First off, Jared's a sports nut. He will absolutely work you in Pop-A-Shot. Gonna talk your ear off for hours about his beloved Pittsburgh Pirates. His most prized possession, however, this.
It was phenomenal and amazing putt I made my entire life. That was my first birdie putt I ever made for 9 holes.
Not just that.
Birdie, birdie! Oh my gosh, what a way to finish.
This solidified gold at the 2018 Special Olympics for 9-hole alternative team shot. Who he did it alongside made it even better.
Daddy went and put his arm up. That's the best day ever.
Chad Stansel is Jared's dad, playing partner, and best friend all rolled into one.
He never gives up on himself, and I always be there for him. And I always be right here, because I know how much I love him. I mean, he's the best dad ever and the best husband to my mom. And so that's how life works.
So the time has come. Let's roll out, hit the links, tee that baby high, let it fly. With his best friend.
There you go. Nice shot. You find out your son's gonna have a disability, and there's so many unanswered questions, and then, fast forward 15 years, and here we are. I mean, it's unbelievable. Just like that. Let's go in the hole. Go in.
Oh, beautiful.
There you go.
That's why I call Sports Olympics.
There you go.
That was beautiful, Jared.
Take that, partner.
There you go. Good job.
Every single round still leaves Chad speechless.
To experience it with my son, I can't put it into words.
And just in case, if you weren't sure,
There you go.
Jared, though, has plenty to say.
Team dance are #1.
So we make decisions based on perspective. Some are fairly simple that don't really require much thought. Like this. Who you got? Bills, Dolphins, we put it to a vote earlier. A lot of you chimed in. 65% said we're going Buffalo. Majority says so. Why isn't this a mystery? Let's figure it out. Buffalo's got more talent. They've won 6 straight against Miami at home. Finns, of course, could be without their starting quarterback. Bills are going to win this game. I can say that confidently. Now, if I whiff on it, it's no big deal. What's the matter? This is something, though, you can't get wrong. How do you manage the future for an injury-prone quarterback with 2 concussions in 3 months? No one wants to sit here and have this discussion, but you have to do it, and the only way how is tactfully. Let's start with the priority, which is Tua's long-term health and nothing else. Not in 2023, not just 5 to 10 years down the line. This is about the rest of his life. If being cautious about brain injuries is a burden for everyone else, then so be it. Now, Tua's best valuable trait is his availability. He's 21-13 as a starting quarterback. When he's out, Miami's 5-9. Now, I get why that is a compliment to him, but shouldn't that boost his value? Or do we sit here and say, wow, he's already missed 14 games in just 3 seasons? This is a business. Success usually depends on skill and stability at that position. Can Tua give you that? That's the question you have to ask, and it's a tough decision that comes with multiple perspectives to answer. Just don't lose sight of what's the priority.